Here's Jeff Crilley.
Good Saturday morning, DFW. Good to be back. Texas Tech football has been interrupting the show for the better part of the last month or two. But, we've got a great show. And my first guest is Tilde Guajardo. She is the CEO and founder of Womanars. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you having me here today.
Okay, for someone who's never heard of Womanars, what is it?
It is a company specifically targeting women, centered on personal and professional development. We create online and in-person events specifically to help women pursue their passion, their dreams, step into their own power.
I love it. How did you get this idea?
Well, like all great ideas, it was born out of trauma. Okay. So I went through a traumatic divorce in 2005. And having gone through that and going through that, I was struggling myself, trying or asking myself questions like, who am I? What do I want to do with the second half of my life that actually has meaning and that makes impact? And what am I really passionate about? And so for me, I was looking back, and I had always been passionate about empowering women and girls. I had been teaching women's empowerment classes since my late 20s into my early 30s, and I had started to do that because I had been able to overcome some childhood molestation issues. I had a lot of anger, fear, and pain that I had worked through and combined both my faith with positive psychology practices, and so I was teaching that. And after getting married, I had sort of gotten away from that. I had commingled so much of my life with somebody else that, their dreams become your dreams, and you kind of lose yourself. And so when the divorce happened, I went back to that and realized that I still wanted to do that. And at the same time, going through the divorce, I found that it was really difficult to find information that I needed personally to help me get through the divorce. Like, what do I ask? What are the right questions to ask an attorney? How do I know where to find a good therapist? All those questions. And for me, it was really easy that I could just pick up the phone and call my friends, swallow my pride, and ask my friends to help me, who were CPAs, therapists, attorneys. And they either helped me themselves or they put me in contact with somebody else. So when that happened, I thought, well, what are women doing that don't have access, that can't just pick up the phone? So that's where the idea of this online resource came to mind. And it was so big because I always saw it via video, and video back in 2006 was just really getting started. But I always saw us being able to talk to the teacher or the expert, like we are here today, face to face, and then the audience being able to participate with that. So there was no technology really back then that was doing that. And so for me, it was just overwhelming. I had no background in technology or video production or anything like that. So I kind of sat on it for a while, and but that little gnaw in my gut and in my heart didn't leave me. And so in 2009 is really when Womanars was born. Somebody threw it out there about, have you heard of webinars? And I said, no, I've never heard of webinars. That's sort of a weird word,
Right.
And so they're like, I think that's the type of technology that you're talking about, so go home and research it, And so I was driving home after that meeting, and I kept repeating in my head, webinars, 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 because I didn't want to forget it, right? Because it was so new at that time. And immediately on the way home, I got a download. And I don't know if you're spiritual or not, but I am. And I just immediately heard Womanars. And I had chills from the top of my head to the soles of my feet, and I thought, that's it. And
That's beautiful.
So that's how it was born.
My guest right now, Tilde Guajardo. She is the CEO and founder of Womanars, and the website is womanars.com. Spell that for us.
It's WOMANARS.
Okay. Now, and you've grown tremendously since you first launched. Talk about the growth and how you've done it.
Consistency, really. It has been, when I first started Womanars, like I said, I didn't have a background in this sort of business, online business. And I didn't have a network of women. And so the first thing I had to do was get out there, and start, because the three pillars for us are inspiration, education, and collaboration. So the first thing that we did that I wanted to do was produce videos and inspiring storytelling videos to hopefully inspire and motivate other women to pursue their own passion, their own dreams. And so, really it was just getting out there and getting out of my own comfort zone, getting out of my own way, and just telling people what I envisioned doing and asking them to tell their stories, and they did. And it's just been really amazing. I've interviewed probably close to 200 women now on camera.
Wow.
Yeah, and all, successful in their own right, and who have just made that transition, either coming out of corporate and starting their own business, or, just some of them have come out of the sex industry and,
Right.
started a new life. So it's just been really a beautiful, beautiful thing to watch come to life.
So your target demographic, are they entrepreneurs? Are they corporate executives? Who?
We found that we really attract three different types of women. So the entrepreneurs are definitely one, leaders of organizations, and then business women, career.
Mm-hmm.
So between the ages of 35, 55 mainly is what we're finding. We have a global audience on Facebook that we do address, so we've been able to grow that in the past year and a half through that consistency that I was talking about, and having a Facebook Live program where we interview people from all over the world live. And so we've grown that audience from 2,000 to almost 15,000 now.
Yes. Well, I'd like to get your impression of all of the sexual harassment allegations, the Harvey Weinstein, Capitol Hill. It just seems like we are seeing so many women from all walks of life standing up and saying, "Me too."
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're asking that, because that's an important question, and I think that we all need to address. And for the longest time, one of the main characteristics that I have seen in women that I've interviewed over the years that have been able to define success for themselves, one of the three pillars is finding your voice, right? And not being afraid to speak up and tell your truth. And so for me, seeing that ripple effect now really becoming a wave of women stepping forward and using their voice the way that they are, I think is a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And it's powerful, obviously. When we do use our voice and use it, we are also giving others permission to use their voice. Absolutely. And I think that's what you're seeing now. And so for me, it's a beautiful thing to watch, and it's also sad because there are so many. And I want to say this: it doesn't just happen to women; it happens to men as well, as we've seen on the media. And so, just to encourage women to begin to use their voice and not wait 30 or 40 years, before they do it.
Do you think it's causing executives to really check themselves in terms of their language and how they treat women in the workplace?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and especially with technology, the way that it is today with social media and how you can just record everything, they need to be. They need to be watching themselves, whether there's a camera or a phone involved or not. Characters, who you are when nobody is watching. So take that into consideration.
Well, this has got to be very enriching for you personally, because think about all of the people you get to interview and learn from. Have you grown tremendously in your own journey?
Yeah. Well, I tell everybody, because, I came out of a 20-year career at airline, mm-hmm. and to jump into this in 2014 full-time. And I tell everybody, if you want to pull back the layers of all your fears, your limiting beliefs, I'm like, just become an entrepreneur. You will grow tremendously. But yes, I can see a piece of myself in almost everyone I interview, and the commonalities that we have, in the struggles, also in the fears that we share. So that has definitely inspired me and been sort of a mirror for me to be able to learn and grow from everyone that I interview.
If somebody wants to get involved, they go to the website, do they sign up? Do they become a member? What happens?
Okay. Yes, for sure. If they go to womanars.com, there is a sign up. They can get a free class through there as well. And so womanars.com, and then just submit your information to us, and we'll put you on the email list. You'll know about upcoming events, retreats. We've got some great stuff coming up in 2018.
Excellent.
So, yeah, we've got a workshop coming up on December 9th, too. So
tell us about the workshop.
The workshop is a culmination of everything that I've learned from those interviews and self-work throughout my life. And so it really centers on the mind-body-spirit connection, instilling the clarity, confidence, and courage to really know who you are so that you can then identify, where you want to go. So, and it also combines some stress, emotional resiliency is what we're calling it, so that to help people deal with stress during the holidays, because we all know that the holidays can be really tough for a lot of people for many different reasons. So if women are in one form of transition or another, or just having a really difficult time, with the holidays this year, this workshop is the place to be.
Outstanding. Tilde Guajardo is my guest, CEO and founder of Womanars.com. And we'll have to have you back. This was a great segment.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Thanks so much. When we come back, we're going to be talking to a man who is leading a movement. What are Christmas ninjas, and how can you get involved? That's next on The Jeff Crilley Show.
More of The Jeff Crilley Show coming up.